Hello everybody, good evening. My name is Alan, and on behalf of the crew of the show, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, in all our lives, so many things happen, and so many things when they happen seem like dramas. But now is really a time, coming into the year 2000, coming into the new millennium, where the earth is going to be healed, and we individually are going to be healed, and are going to be part of the process of healing the earth. And it's a time when we can do that process and be part of that process with a great joy and a great feeling of peace and satisfaction. And tonight we have with us guests who just travel the world, bringing that experience to people, of opening people's hearts, of healing through their workshops, through their seminars, through their books, through their music, through their voice. Heal the earth and heal just bring all the love up in us so we can be part of that process. We have with us tonight Anne-Marie Groth and Rich Work, who individually and collectively are just extraordinary teachers and healers and authors. Anne-Marie has put out recently this incredibly beautiful guided meditation called the Harmonic Synchronistic Attunement, which is a vibratory balancing for anyone who can listen to it and be open to it. Together, Anne-Marie and Rich have written an extraordinary book, Awaken to the Healer Within, that I'm sure we're going to get into a lot about tonight, about how we can heal ourselves and heal all the wounds of the separations we've felt, all the hurts we've had throughout this lifetime and, in a sense, many lifetimes, because the time for healing is now. And Rich has also written an extraordinary book, God, This is a Good Book. God himself said this is a good book to Rich. So we're very fortunate to have Rich with us in all humbleness, as you know I am. And we're also blessed to have Marilynn back with us again. She's one of our favorites on the show, and we get tremendous numbers of calls. When's Marilynn coming back? Is she going to be on this season? Well, she is going to be on, and she's going to be on tonight. She's an internationally acclaimed musical artist whose last two albums are just such heart-opening and brilliant pieces of inspiration. One is called Cause to Celebrate, and the new one is called Listen to Your Heart, and she's going to sing songs from those CDs that she's just come out with. So again, we're just honored to have Anne-Marie and Rich and Marilynn with us tonight. And if you can just sit with us, whatever you did today, whatever dramas you had, whatever joys you had, just let it all fade. Just try to come into a quiet place and let the healing begin. So as we normally do at this time, please join me in a short meditation. If you don't know a meditation technique, just either follow your breath or just try to be quiet. Or just watch me meditate. That should be good for something. So just do that for a little while. If you know a meditation technique, try that. So just for a little while, and then we're going to start with a Marilynn song. So please join me. Thank you. So I hope you're ready to be healed, because certainly I am. And be part of that healing. Just let it be interactive. I know at this point, there's no buttons you can push to be part of the show, but you can be part of the show. Your love and energy is definitely part of what feeds us and inspires us to keep doing Bridging Heaven and Earth. So the first song Marilynn's going to do is Love Can Build a Bridge. Marilynn's going to do it, and it's written by Naomi Judd, John Jarvis, and Paul Overstreet. So whenever Marilynn's ready, please.
Heal the pain I feel. Would you swim out to save me? you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? We must whisper love so loudly every heart can understand. The love and only love can join the tribes of men. We must live our heart's desire so that everyone can see. The first thing is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between God's world and ours. And love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Because when we stand together, it's our finest hour to create anything, anything. If we keep believing in the power between your heart and mine. And love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think that when we stand together, it's our finest hour to create anything, anything. If we keep believing in the power between God's world and ours. Love can build a bridge, and we know it's time. Yes, we know it's time. We know it's time. We know it's time.
Wow, thank you, Marilynn. That was fantastic. So we're on the set with Anne Marie and Rich. Hi,
Hi.
welcome.
Good evening.
Hi. So love can build a bridge.
Yes.
So how did you guys start out in the spiritual path individually, and then how did you come together to form that union that's so powerful?
Alan, have you ever noticed that we've been doing basic training all of our life for what we're doing right now?
You know, it's interesting. I say to people, people say, are we going to be all right on this set? I say we've been practicing this for thousands of years, so don't
That's
worry.
Right. Right. We've just been waiting for the consciousness to open so we could each bring forth our gift. And that's how it happens. Mine has been in the field of communications. As long as I retired in 1992, after 30 years as National Sales Manager and Director of Training of a major corporation. But I also have been devoting the same amount of time in the field that I am here. I've been involved in health and wellness, so to speak, and my journey has been to call forth the simplicity of healing. So Anne Marie and I met about 6 years ago, and the work we do is like two halves of a coin coming together. We understand there are two parts to the healing process. First, you negotiate peace, then you rebuild the country. We have been raised in a society that's been focused on trying to heal the pimple. They've been trying to rebuild a country that's still at war, and no one has been negotiating peace. Remember, I said my journey has been to call forth the simplicity of healing. And so if you were to tell me healing had to be difficult, had to be done by the numbers, is going to take a long time, my flags would go up and said, no, 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 no. Show me the simplicity of healing, and it must have a beginning, a middle, and end, and a purpose. You have just mentioned we're coming into a new millennium, And that is true. The tools have come forth, the tools are here to affect the healing that we've been looking for and longing for.
And this is healing of each of us individually and planetarily and almost cosmically, in a sense.
That is how the planetary and the cosmic is going to be healed. It is through us. Until we heal ourselves, nothing else can take place.
And Anne-Marie, how did you
Well,
get...
I want to continue on with what
Yeah.
Rich was saying. Each of us is living in a universe of 100 trillion cells. And when we bring each one of those cells to a place of peace and harmony and love, the whole universe around us shifts and changes. So truly, if we want to heal the world, we must always go back and start here first, within our own physical body. And that's where I began, was with my physical body.
Yeah, you were very ill for quite a long time, right? And that's how you got led to that path.
I was actually ill almost all of my life. But,
Really? I mean, you had a serious
20
multiple
years ago,
sclerosis
yes.
or something
Yes,
like that?
20 years ago, I was severely disabled with multiple sclerosis. And 20 years ago in January, so we're coming up to the anniversary time here, I went through a severe exacerbation where for 7 days I was laying in bed, unable to move, unable to feed myself. I couldn't even wiggle my little finger. And I realized then that I was just existing, I wasn't living. And I called out to God after the 7th day and I said, you have one of two choices.
Kill me or fix me.
No, not quite. Well, almost.
Right.
I just said, you can welcome me home, or you can show me the way to get well and I'll share it with the world. And I
Right.
planned my suicide.
Wow.
I fell asleep and I woke up to the telephone ringing, and a lady was calling to tell me she'd been in prayer that afternoon, and the Lord had laid it on her heart to call me and tell me that MS could be conquered.
Wow.
I'd met her once before, total stranger. She says, I know this may sound really strange, but I need to do what's in my heart. And she was an inspiration for me to always
And she was
do
also a healer.
what's in my heart. No, she had
She
just
just-
been in prayer that afternoon
And that's what she got.
and received that message.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So not that
And
she necessarily could be helpful in that
No,
healing. It's
no.
just it's healable and you could do it.
She had no idea. She was just the
Passing the
messenger.
messenger.
Passing the message along.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, Alan.
So what was
I
like your
knew-
first steps
Yeah.
to do that?
I knew I'd be healed at that time, and I remembered playing with the angels as a child, and I called them forth, and what they did was they just start teaching me how to breathe through my body, and I would start breathing with the cells in my body, and they guided me through this, and it was like they were rocking me in their arms.
And this is from almost a completely non-movement space.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's what I share now in my Harmonic Synchronistic Attunement, are these guided meditations of bringing the breath of life back into every cell of the body. And the marvelous thing is so magic. People are calling me and they'll say, I thought this was going to be a physical healing and my finances are healed, and they tell me the magic and the miracles around their finances or their relationships or their family unit, what
It's
happened.
just bringing the whole being into harmony.
When you're in harmony, it just,
Right.
your life
You pour,
changes. It's wonderful.
Well, and so how did you two come together to bring your work to like the pinnacle together?
I think it was divine order.
Well, that goes without saying, but what were the specifics?
As I said, we were like two halves to a coin.
And
My
as soon
work-
as soon
my-
as you met, you knew that pretty
Yes.
much.
Oh, absolutely, no question.
Wow.
But remember, I said there's two parts to the healing process. My work is to negotiate peace. Her work is to rebuild the country. You were not the drummer. You had made a mention of how the healing is going to take place. You are not the drummer. You are the orchestra. You are not just one cell. You are the universe. You are the universe manifested in physical form. You are not a body. You're the combination of mind, body, soul integrated as one. You are not separate from anything. You are one with all that is. You are not a life form. You are not a lifetime. You are the sum total of every experience the soul has had since the beginning of creation. You can only heal that, Alan, of which you call forth to participate with you in the healing. In the past, we have had a small concept of who we were, and that's who we worked with. But now it's time to expand the consciousness of mankind to understand that they are the totality of all that is. And when we invite the totality of our being to participate in the healing takes place not only in the person, but in the earth, in the universe, in the Creator, and in creation itself.
And when we call it in, at some point we have that experience that makes it real to us. It's not just an idea anymore. It's it's a real experience that at some point we are one.
Exactly.
Right.
Every cell of your physical body is connected energetically to every point in creation. As you expand your consciousness, we get into what I call our expanded self. And at that point, you consciously become aware of and include in your healing, in your proclamations that you will say as part of your healing, you become aware that with each change that you make, you affect all of creation itself.
Because we're all just vibrations, so where does the vibration stop? Does it stop
Exactly.
at this wall? Does it stop at this city? I mean, those are just arbitrary boundaries that humans and their
Every wave of your
frailty
hand
set.
is measured in resonance around the earth 7 times every second.
Well, does it stop at the earth, or does it,
No.
Exactly.
I'm just pointing,
Right.
giving
Yeah,
you
exactly.
an
Didn't
example.
you say that you had a proclamation that you'd like to share with everybody tonight? A new one that just
That's
came
true,
forth?
and Anne-Marie just alluded to it. Each one of us have 100 trillion citizens within our country, within our universe. And they worked very hard to support us on our journey. And how long has it been since you thanked them? So it's time.
I've
and
done
I
it
offer
about
to
10
all-
minutes ago,
Yes,
but for
right.
most people.
But I invite our viewing
Because
audience
I have to
join
deal with
me
this
now
crew all the time, so I have to be
with
thankful.
this proclamation, if you will. From the divine love that flows through my being, I call forth every cell of my being and every vibration of my being to stand before me now, as I stand before you in love. I acknowledge my love for you. I acknowledge the hard work you have performed for me to support me in my journey. But I now choose, and I ask of you, to align yourself in divine perfection according to my heart's desire, to integrate with me once again in mind, body, and spirit as I move forward on my journey. And so it is.
Wow, beautiful.
And if that's the desire of the viewing audience, just embody it for their own. Say,
For all the 6
I
million
acknowledge this as
people,
my
I
own.
encourage you.
Yes.
One of Rich's gifts is that he truly has understood the power of the word and how that word vibrates through every one of the cells of the body out to the universe.
Do you mean the word, meaning
to
in the beginning
manifest.
was the word, or just
We're talking
words?
about using
Thoughtful.
Using words.
using
Thoughtful.
word and how to use word in what he calls a proclamation. A lot of people have called them affirmations in the past, and the concept of proclaiming and being empowered to actually proclaim and make a change, it's awesome, the changes we see in people's lives.
Let me ask you, in your process, both of you, what would the word surrender? You know, I mean, in a lot of spiritual paths, surrender has a meaning. How would you relate to that?
Okay, thank you.
Always trying to help out a little bit.
The healing is the process of letting go. Meditation is the process of letting go. Letting go of your thoughts, cleaning out the cobwebs of the mind, letting yourself go and just drift into the inner self, the inner being. Becoming psychic and intuitive is the process of letting go. Again, letting go of all thought patterns, letting go of our day-to-day stresses, and again, drifting in and communicating once again with that silent voice that's within us. The healing is the process of letting go. You mentioned the word surrender. There is not a better word that you could have used, because it is surrendering and letting go of the laws and judgments that we have created, that we have bought. So when we surrender these and let go, and simply recognize that we are already the divine being within, there's nothing we have to do to be who we are. Alan, there's nothing you can do to be who you are. There's no meditation you can do. There's no book you can read. There's no workshop you can go to be who
I don't
you are.
do any of them
You
anymore.
already
Trust
are.
me. That's what-
You already are the divine essence.
Right.
All we need to do is to reach out and remove the veils of illusion we've created around us, and remember once again that we are the divine creation. To be who you are is not something you have to try to be. It is the process of allowing,
Oh, surrendering in essence.
surrendering.
Yeah. So when you talk about awakening to the healer within, now how does that process work?
If I could put all the work that I do, all the healing work, all the workshops and everything else, I could put it in a few words. Whatever is interfering with your free will choice and your ability to move ahead in life and manifest according to your heart's desire, that's interfering with that, we choose to release. And that's what the Awaken to the Healer is all about. And God, this is a good book, is all about. Awaken to the Healer Within is a healing of the soul. God, This Is a Good Book is about reclaiming your mastery. And the book that I'm coming out with in 30 days called Proclamations of the Soul,
Does God
60
think this is a-
days.
60 days.
60 days, be available in 60 days. And that's the healing of creation itself. It's getting back to what we mentioned just a moment ago. Awaken to the Healer Within is healing the mind-body-soul concept. And once we expand our consciousness, then we get into Proclamation of the Soul, and we literally reach out and heal creation itself. Each proclamation...
Is creation out of harmony? Or does it just look like it?
There's nothing that affects us individually that does not affect all of creation. We like to think that creation is in total balance. But if we're out of balance and we're connected to all that is, we must also understand that creation is out of balance. Everything that you can see and perceive is divine. Name one thing in all of creation that's not divine. There is nothing that is not divine. Some people know it, some don't. It is awakening that consciousness to recognize that we are all divine and embody it as our truth. Each proclamation as you go through Awaken to the Healer Within is removing another layer of illusion that we've created, changing another belief system. In all of creation there's only one energy. You talked about vibrations and energy, but in all of creation there's only one energy, and it's called harmonic. And then we bring it into our little playground here, and we have a myriad of ways of turning it into disharmonic energy. And that's been the game we've been playing, the game of separation. And now it's time to take that disharmonic energy and transmute it back into its harmonic form. The disharmonic of joy becomes anger. The disharmonic of peace becomes depression. If you're depressed, let's simply take that energy and transmute it back to its harmonic form, and it now becomes peace. Anger becomes joy. And this is what the process is all about, and understanding that we hold within us the ability to make that change. Everything you can see and perceive was created by a thought form. And everything that you can see and perceive can be changed by a thought form. And it's the awakening to that, the understanding of that, becoming empowered to that, and reaching out and changing that which no longer brings you joy.
So, and how does this actually work in a workshop or a gathering that you two are leading? How does that work? So people come in and sit down and...
Well, whether we're talking with someone one-on-one or whether it's a large gathering of people, when the energy moves and shifts out of its disharmonic form into its harmonic form, you will have total physical healings and healings in all parts of your world. And it happens through the use.
So is there a process? Is there
It happens
tools?
through the use.
I mean, there's meditation.
It's proclamations.
Proclamation.
This is one of the, Rich just gave you one example of a proclamation. Awaken to the Healer Within is full of proclamations. It's like our owner's manual. It takes you from A to Z, reminds you who you are and how to be empowered and change your life now, today.
So people can leave that workshop with the book or with the knowledge that they've been taught and awaken and continue to awaken their own healer within.
We get testimonies continuously from people who have gotten a hold of the book, and they'll write us and say, this is like my new Bible. This has changed my life. My family has changed. I have changed. My world has changed. Because for the first time, tools of empowerment have been given to them in a very easy to understand and a very simple manner that they can work with. And that's what our work is how to. There's no mystery. We take the mystery out of mastery. And there's no mystery left. It's just right here. This is how simple it is. This is what you can do to change your life. So Awaken to the Healer Within, I call the owner's manual.
All the things we do is to empower the individual to do it themselves. Awaken to the Healer and all of the work that we do is not something that says, come and see us, we have the answers. It says, here it is, go do it yourself.
And
because truly that's
So in
how
other
the
words,
healing
you're
will
like
take
mirrors,
place.
in a sense.
Yes.
And in Awaken to the Healer Within, I mentioned the attunement that I do. That's in written form in Awaken to the Healer Within. And then now we have the audio tape
The audio
to go
tape,
with that.
right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, maybe what we'll try to do now is set up for Marilynn's second set. We're honored to have Marilynn with us. So let's see, she's going to do two songs this time. She's going to do Walk in Balance, that was written by Deneen, I think it is, Denean. And then she's going to do We Are All Connected, that was written and performed, that is going to be written, that Marilynn wrote, and she's going to perform it. So I guess whenever we're ready, Marilynn, please.
We must learn to walk in balance, sacred steps to take, weaving peace and understanding through all that we create, a tapestry of love and light, finest threads of gold, sacred flame ever burning bright through all that we behold. As we learn to walk in balance, the healing will take place, the healing of this earth, our mother, the healing of the human race, a tapestry of love and light, finest threads of gold, sacred flame ever burning bright through all that we behold. As we learn to walk in balance, the healing will take place. As we learn to walk in balance, the healing will take place. The healing will take place. The healing will take place. Every way, every day, my life is changing. My life is changing. I'm coming alive. Every day, every way, my life is changing. I'm starting to see how connected we are. Every day, every way, my love is growing. My love is growing. I'm feeling alive. Every day, every way, my love is growing. My heart grows more open with each passing day. We're all connected. We're moving through the night. We're all connected. So let our spirit fly.
Wow, thank you, Marilyn. That was fantastic. We're all connected. What a strange thing to think about. So you guys both travel, I mean, the world, bringing that message of connectedness, of love. Because when a human feels connected, it feels like love in a human body, surprisingly enough.
Yes.
And not for anything in
That's
particular.
what it is, yes.
And not for anything in particular.
Yeah.
So are you seeing that message and that vibration is really spreading more, and people all over the world are more open to it?
I'd like to point out that in 1998, all the prophecies were fulfilled. If anyone's waiting for another prophecy to be fulfilled, they've missed.
Like give me two or three. Like which prophecies?
The Great Plague was transmuted. The atomic holocaust came and went. The suppressive energies that have been in effect for eons of time have now ceased to be.
Well, and the big one here for you, the prophecy that California is going to slip off the continent. We were in San Francisco when you could feel the plates go boom and lock into place
Last
so that
July.
it would be impossible to happen. So it's really exciting to see all the people raising the vibrations of love in their hearts to transmute those prophecies of those earth changes. Nostradamus gave his life for one purpose, and that was because he knew that collectively we could join together and change what he saw. And we've done it. It's finished. It's over.
And 1999 is the year of magic. I call it the year of magic because there is no more suppressive energy to suppress your creative energies. And now as you go forth and create and call forth your healing, there are no old magnetic energies to keep pulling you back into those old patterns. When you now release your fears and you release those negative laws that you've created that have interfered with your free will choice, it is gone. I'd like to point out the opening page in my new book, Proclamation of the Soul, is going to read, each individual has been endowed with the one law from the Creator, the law of free will choice. No one can take your free will from you, but you can give it away. Those that have chosen the game of power and control understood this quite well. They understood the rules, and therefore the question was always asked, what do I have to do to convince you to give me your free will? And that's where all the spin has come from, and we've become very good at giving our power away, correct? Mm-hmm. So now the healing is now reclaiming our power, reclaiming honor and love for ourselves and honor and love for everyone
Let me
else.
ask you, how would you define free will in this context?
Your ability to move ahead in life according to and manifest according to your heart's desire.
And when you surrender?
Free will is to do, well, let me put it this way. Free will, and let me call it truth. I call it standing in your truth. To stand in your truth is to honor all others and to honor yourself. To stand in your truth is never to violate the free will choice of another, and never allow another to violate your free will choice.
And if you were experiencing that there wasn't you and another except as some illusionary thing, like you're wearing a purple jacket and I'm wearing a black jacket, how would you proceed then?
I honor you for your choice.
No, what if you were experiencing that and there wasn't a you and there wasn't a me?
I'm not sure.
If there wasn't, in the way you experience life, there wasn't a you and there wasn't a me in any meaningful way.
You're going to have to answer your question because I don't quite follow where you're going with this.
Well, I mean, if one is experiencing...
I'd like to answer that.
Please.
Okay.
It was thrown open to the...
I believe that we are all one, but we're also individual expressions of love. We each came as a spark of light from the heart of the Creator as an individual expression. So I have free will choice to express according to my own heart's desires, as do you. We are connected into the oneness of all that is, and yet we're free to be individual expressions. And that's what gives me free will choice, and I can allow you your free will choice. It is when I choose to wear a rainbow jacket and you're wearing a black one. Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
Now I've just put the element of judgment in there. I'm comparing that maybe your black jacket isn't quite as good as my rainbow one. Where I need to honor the fact that you look fabulous in black and that it's a wonderful thing for you to be wearing. I just chose not to wear black in the moment. But we're each free to express ourselves. And yet how many times during the day or during the week or during the month do you succumb to your free will choice to another? Our governments, our religions, our education, all of our institutions are designed to create a set of rules in which we must follow that may actually suppress our freedom of expression, expressing the divine nature of our being. When you truly come to that point of expressing the divine nature of your being, you are healed. So the proclamations and the attunements that we do help you to clear away the laws and the judgments and the lack of self-worth, the limitations, the doubts, the indecisions about your own divine nature so that you're totally free to express who you are. I know that I'm totally free of multiple sclerosis today because I'm free to express who I am. I never felt free to do that in my past. But in my present, I'm totally free. I allow myself to express who and what I am, and that brings health, happiness, and harmony to my life. And that's what we help people. We help people to move out of a disempowered state of victimism, we could say,
Victimization,
into a state of empowerment and mastery over their own life.
Your physical body is only testimony of what's going on in your etheric body. The healing truly takes place in the etheric, and when that happens, the healing takes place in the physical. We're only seeing the symptom of what's taking place. I'd like to share with you just a testimony. When people ask us to share a testimony, it's not our biggest dilemma is which one do we want to share? There are so many. I'd like to share one about a 35-year-old gentleman who was an executive of a Fortune 500 company. His girlfriend had seen me do a demonstration in which I transmuted toxic metals in the body. She was so impressed because she was the one that experienced the healing instantly. She brought her boyfriend, this 35-year-old gentleman, in, who did not have a clue of who I was. But he was looking for his own miracle. For 12 years, he had had Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a complete deterioration of the colon. For 8 years, he had had daily bleeding in the urine and daily bleeding in the stool. He had been in and out of the hospital repeatedly. In fact, he had just come out of the hospital to go home to hopefully get enough rest that he could survive a total colostomy. He didn't have many options left. So he came in, and he mentioned later, he says, Rich, in your opening statement, you said something that I just said to myself, I am opening myself up, I'm going to accept whatever this gentleman has to offer me. That's the key to healing, is when you open to accept. 2 hours later, when we got through, using only the tools that are in Awaken to the Healer Within, because that is the work. And when we got through, 4 hours later, the bleeding in his urine stopped. 12 hours later, the bleeding in his stool stopped. 3.5 weeks later, he went into the hospital for complete diagnosis. They could find no sign of disease ever having been in his body ever.
And it's never come back.
And it's never come back.
But he gets massive headaches. No, I'm kidding.
No. But these are the things that we see. And
it's just by
important
going in through the workshop and
Exactly.
him doing the proclamations
Exactly.
with you in a surrendered state, in an open state.
And the important thing is to understand that I did not heal anyone. I only awakened within him the ability for him to heal himself.
Mm-hmm. Did you say that you had another proclamation you'd like to read, or do you do that in the open? Is that the opening for your new book?
No, I have one more.
All right, good.
And
please.
this is the last one that came through. This is the
this is very
conclusion
recent, right?
to Proclamations of the Soul.
Okay.
This is the final one for all of the people on the planet, because we have all, at one time or another, been underneath this. And it's called the Veils of Illusion. Those in power and control had created holographic forms, illusions, thought forms, to create veils. Imagine layers of cellophane. And just as we try to break through this holographic illusion, just as we think we've broken free, we only find out that there is still yet another
There's
layer to break through.
Just more prison walls.
And we wind up going back and forth through this maze, and we can never totally find our way out. This is the veils of illusion. I am creator. I am creation on all levels of consciousness. I choose to be free of the veils of illusion that have interfered with my ability to see my truth. I am prepared to accept responsibility for my world without distortion and illusion. I command all distortions, illusions, holograms, thought forms, and energies that have created the veils that interfere with my free will choice and obstruct my ability to see my truth, now be removed, transmuted into unconditional love, and embraced into my oneness. I command that the vibration of fear that has been attached to these veils and my perceived reality be transmuted into the vibrations of unconditional love, joy, peace, and harmony, for that is the reality I choose as my own. And so it is.
And so
And if that feels right to a viewing audience, simply say, this is my truth. I will embody this. And it is done.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be a nice thing for everybody. Be a nice Saturday. This is something we taped on Friday. I guess Saturday would be a lot better for a lot of people. If that, in
It
time and
is
space, I guess.
amazing when you allow those vibrations to move through your body, how it just shifts life.
Anne Marie, you were going to share about people who sparkle these days.
Yes, the beautiful song that Marilynn just sang, talking about the body becoming light. And I was wondering if you've noticed the twinkles, the sparkles in people's skin lately. What's happening? As a scientist, I'm always very fascinated in how does this happen. But we've been living in carbon-based vehicles. If you go back to your biology, your cells are carbon-based units. And when we raise the vibrations, an electron transfer takes place, and the carbon takes on an extra electron and becomes silica. And silica, of course, is crystal. So our bodies are actually becoming crystalline. And in your bright sunlight, if you go out and look at the skin, especially in the elbow where it's a little moister, you'll see twinkles and sparkles where the cells are becoming crystalline in your body. And this is happening around the world to the masses. So it's no longer one or two people here or there that have a light body. It's everyone on the planet. It's amazing.
So people will say, how do I know that the work you're sharing with us is working? How do I know that the songs that Marilynn is singing, the resonance of love that's coming through, how do I know this is all working? And I say, just go out and stand in the sunshine and look at your skin and see the sparkles, the crystalline in your body. This is a result, and only result, because of an expanding consciousness.
And the raising of the vibrations on the entire planet, which starts, of course, in the heart of each individual.
Right. So there have been, we've had a lot of guests on this, so with a lot of, different experiences, a lot of different theories. And there has been some theories that there's actually more energy coming down from archangels or masters or whatever, like into the earth. So I mean, like we're raising, it's like a constant cycle of increased energy and help and love.
I will put it as simply as I can. There's no greater power than that lies within you. Yes, our teachers and guides have come here to show us the way, but you're the one that had to do the work. Acknowledge that. Stand in awe of yourself. You're a beautiful, magnificent, thank you, divine being. Yes. That's how magnificent you are.
It's hard to say, I'm so magnificent.
It's time that we start taking credit for the beings that we are.
We can put it another way. If you were of a higher vibration in which you could walk through a wall, you wouldn't be able to open the door. We here in dense physical form are opening the doors. The guides and the angels are only here to show you who you are, the divine nature of your being, what you came to do, and who you really are and where you came from. Their work is to awaken you. And when that happens, the earth changes.
Well, the universe, everything that
And
is
the universe.
changed.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes. Do you understand why it's so important that we do it here on Earth? The Earth
Because that's
is
where we are, for one thing.
Yes, for one thing. But why are we here? Why didn't we go to the Pleiades or some other place in the universe? It's because the Earth is the actual heart of this universe. And when you shift the heart, the whole being changes. And our universe is the heart of the Creator itself. And when our universe changes, all of creation will change.
Well, when you change one grain of sand, the whole universe changes.
Exactly.
Yes.
In essence, so I mean.
Exactly, but the point she was trying to make out, you as a physical being could lose a finger, you could lose a hand, you could even lose an arm, but you couldn't lose the heart. When the heart goes, the entire being goes. And so if the earth is the heart of our universe, we first had to come to heal the heart. Otherwise, the universe itself would die. And the universe of earth is the heart of the Creator. In doing so, and the work we're doing is so important because we're working from the inside out, so to speak, in this healing process. There's no more important work in all of creation than what we're doing right down here, right now. And whatever has been created in the third dimension can only be changed from the third dimension. If they could have done it before, they would have done it before. They can only bring us the tools and the knowledge to awaken us so that we will be the one that will open the doors.
And the doors are opening. And
Yes.
joy
Quickly,
is.
very fast.
Yeah,
The
joy
year of
is-
magic. The year of magic.
Magically. It's really
Call forth
fun.
your desires and watch out. Yes.
And I wanted to mention something else about the attunements. Why these harmonic attunements are so important. You know, we've got examples in the world always of everything that reflects as a mirror back to ourselves. And right now everyone's involved in the internet and the websites. Have you ever really understood that all knowledge and wisdom lies within you?
Have I?
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Where does it lie? And how do we connect it into the computer brain? It lies within the nucleus of every cell in our body.
It is.
And
It is.
as we
Right.
reconnect each cell in our body to our computer brain, we suddenly connect in the websites that are found in each cell to the mainframe computer, and we have our own website of knowledge and information that's totally accessible to us. And that knowledge and wisdom is not just spiritual laws and truths and so forth, but it actually awakens the intelligence of the body to heal itself. And this is how simply the healing happens, is once the connection takes place between each cell with the brain and each cell collectively with every other cell, the body suddenly remembers and knows what to do.
So
It's
under
when
that
it's
theory,
in separation, it doesn't know what to do.
under that theory, would the body ever age, or would the body
No.
ever? So would the body ever? Would it be a conscious decision to leave the earth, or to
It would
leave the
have-
physical form, or people in that state would live thousands of years?
It would have to be a conscious decision to leave, and you would shut down the energy systems to death the body, to leave, to allow the soul to leave. Scientists, many scientists, Alex Nelson, Otto Warburg, there's a doctor just recently in the University of Massachusetts, have done tests where they take cells and put them in petri dishes and keep them alive for years. And they've discovered that as long as the cell is properly nourished and cleansed, it never ages, and they certainly would never die. Many beings right now, many scientists believe that the body was never designed to die or age. We work with reversing the aging process as well as reversing degeneration. I'm a good example because my body has totally reversed the degenerative process of multiple sclerosis. Rich, I think, is a wonderful example of reversing the aging process because Rich has been on the earth for 70 years.
Wow.
And he's a very young man.
Wow.
So,
Interesting. You told me before you were 25. Is this just for the?
Truly, the healing that is taking place, the healing of the soul, is to move beyond and transcending death itself. This is the journey we're all on. If we choose to stay on this planet, on this journey, we have a choice. We can leave or stay, and neither is right or wrong. But those that choose to stay will eventually, sooner or later, must embody the healing of the soul in one form or another. And in doing so, and coming into our crystalline bodies, we will transcend death, and we'll be able to choose to stay here as long as we desire. That is the journey that we are on at this time. This is the work we teach in our workshops. This is the work that people go home and feel. They know. They see the changes take place in the workshop.
Wow.
the simplicity of that is that as long as parts of our being, whether it's emotional fragmentation or physical separation, It is the lack of the connectiveness that allows for the disharmony to shut off the cellular communication that creates the stresses that ages and death the body. As soon as everything is connected out of limitation, out of separation, the body ceases to degenerate and age and can reverse it.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people, if they're not interested in anything else, you'd have to say would like to reverse the aging process
Yes,
at least.
yes. And the concept is, it's not how long you live, but it's the quality of
Right.
life. I mean, I'd like to live to be 200. Whether I do or not is not important. What's important is that I live fully in
In each
harmony
day,
and
in
joy
each
and celebrate
minute.
life every moment of every day until I leave.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And you're finding that people just being drawn to this. Not only the physical aspects are, I'd rather look better, I'd rather look younger, you'll save me on, facelifts and all the
Yeah.
other stuff, but the feeling of connectedness, the real root of what you're talking about.
To know bliss,
Right.
to know joy, but to really know peace. How many people hunger to know
Yeah, that's
peace?
yeah,
Everyone who
right,
leaves a
right.
workshop has met joy and knows peace. If they've not known it before, they know it by the end of the workshop.
And then it's
And
just
for
a
what we-
matter of getting more in tune with that and lining
And
up
for what
with
we
that
say
more
about
and
the
more.
workshop is also true with the book and so
Yes,
forth,
the
as they
books will
embody
take
it.
you there.
Yeah.
The tapes, the books.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, would you say there'd be a more, in essence, powerful experience because you people are vibrating at that rate? More than a book or more than a tape or something?
From the testimonies, I would have to say yes and no. It depends on the individual and how they like to interact. But I just got a phone call from a lady who listened to the tape, who had just finished reading God, This Is a Good Book.
The guided meditation
She'd read
tape,
Awaken
right.
to the Healer
Yeah.
Within. Now she read God, This Is a Good Book. And she had just gotten the tape and listened to it 3 times. And she said, my whole world has changed. Now, she hasn't attended a workshop, but her whole experience changed. She wants to attend a workshop and embody it deeper and more. So I think it's the joy of being with us. We call our workshops Come and Celebrate with Us. Rather than a workshop, it's celebrating all of this with us. I think it depends on the individual. I think a lot of people can get it.
But you almost vibrationally,
themselves.
somebody can get it from the book as much. I mean, because sometimes being in a master's presence, and the vibration of the master and that.
It is the intent by which they accept the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, it's the openness and the
Yes.
surrender.
Yes. Yes.
I have to tell you, a lady who picked up Awaken to the Healer Within and carried it around for 8 days. Never
On a
opened-
chain.
No, just carried it like this for 8 days before she opened the cover and was completely healed of fibromyalgia without even opening the cover.
Wow. Well, I guess we're running down, again the show's ending and we just had an extraordinary experience. So I just want to thank personally Tim and the people over at the Montecito Del Mar Hotel in Santa Barbara for providing Marilynn and Rich and Anne-Marie with just a fantastic suites and with
Yes.
hot tubs and everything, and just making them available to our guests who come in from out of town. So I just wanted to personally thank them. And I also wanted to, if anybody's interested in Rich or Anne-Marie's work or tapes or books or Marilynn's CDs, please give me a call at 805-687-2053. That's Alan, 805-687-2053. So again, all the letters and all the information that you send us is just so valuable to us and so inspirational that I can't begin to tell you. So thank you, good night, God bless you.